My hope is that at the end of the day, rather than feeling like you've learned how to make a vinaigrette, you understand the concepts behind vinaigrettes so that you're going to feel free to be able to manipulate and have fun with them as you please. In order to do that, I want to show you 3 different styles of vinaigrettes. One's going to be a genuine vinaigrette and 2 are going to be a dressing. The difference between a vinaigrette and a dressing is an emulsifying agent. For a dressing you use Dijon mustard. When you think of a vinaigrette, you see the vinegar on the bottom and the oil separated on top. A dressing's all emulsified together. It helps to carry the flavor through. I'm going to start off with 3 different kinds of vinegar, and we're going to make 3 together, and we're just going to kind of talk about what we're doing. The first one we're going to play with is white wine vinegar. Very neutral flavor. You can really do a lot with it. You can make it a very savory vinaigrette, a very sweet vinaigrette. Sweeter vinaigrette tends to lend itself to the fruit and nut. More of a savory sour vinaigrette for the savory. So the white wine, we're going to add it in here, and then we are going to balance out the sourness of the vinegar with some sugar. In this case I'm going to use honey. Okay. When I do it about 2 to 1, okay? A lot of honey, a lot of vinegar. I'm making enough vinaigrette for everybody to be able to try it. So we're making a few cups here, okay? Vinegar to honey, I like to go about 2 to 1. So it's about 2 parts vinegar and 1 part honey. You're able to adjust your sweetness afterwards by adding a little more honey or a little bit more vinegar if it's too sweet, okay? So these 2 will get whisked together, and to them I am also going to add some Dijon mustard to make it into a dressing. Okay? So these will stir. For the Dijon mustard, I like to do a generous spoonful of Dijon for a cup of vinegar. You generally at home would never be making quite that volume. Your quantities would be reduced back quite a bit. So it would be about a 1/4 spoon, just a small sort of dab. Okay, and that's going to help to hold that vinaigrette together, dressing together. Okay. So to these 2, I am going to add my oil. I like to do a mixture of oils personally. In the world there's a lot of different oils that are available to us. A lot of us have been educated that extra virgin olive oil is the oil, the best oil all the way around. It by far is the healthiest oil that we can eat. It has 0 calories and is high in aeolic acid, which is really, really good for breaking down plaque and platelets inside of your arteries. Okay, so it's very helpful and it's very healthy. It also is the lowest smoke point of oils. So it actually doesn't lend itself very well to cooking at all, because the moment that you heat the oil, the solids inside of it burn. So when a lot of people talk about cooking in oils, you would actually tend to not use an olive oil, and you would go towards something that would be lent towards cooking, or a high heat oil, which would be something like a vegetable or a canola. Okay. When I make my vinaigrettes, I like to do a mixture of the 2. I find that extra virgin olive oil can have strong flavor that can sometimes not lend itself so well towards the vinaigrettes that you're working with. So I tend to blend my oils about 50-50. So I'm going to start with the canola. I'm just going to whisk it in. Okay. Okay. Finish off a little bit of olive. At this point, you'd want to taste your vinaigrette, and you would want to make sure that your acidity is in balance. It's not too sweet, it's not too sour. You're also going to look that your flavors are in balance. If you don't have enough oil inside of your vinaigrette, it's very forward. It hits you very strong in the tongue, and it can sometimes be a little bit offensive. You can tone that down by adding a slight bit more oil. Okay, so it's always playing a balance, and I find that's the difference between a good cook and a great cook. A great cook understands that everything needs to be adjusted and it needs to be balanced. You take a recipe and you follow those guidelines and you end up at a final product. That product you still need to pay attention to, give it some love, and that's where the adjustments and the fine-tunings comes in, and understanding what you're doing in order to have the desired effect. Okay? So, that was a white wine vinaigrette, or dressing. I'm just going to transfer it into this. And we're going to do the same with a balsamic vinaigrette, sped up a little bit. Okay? No salt or pepper. I tend not to put salt and pepper into my vinaigrettes. For me, I don't find that salt necessarily plays a large role, especially in a salad. I find that the flavors of a salad and the quality of the vegetables should play themselves forward. I find that salt really lends itself to cooking of meats, and it lends itself to adjusting of soups and sauces. But when it comes to a lot of things, the raw prepared, it's a lot nicer to keep them very much the way that they are and delicate the way that they should be. The nice things about vinaigrettes is that there's nothing in them, provided that you haven't added a fruit, that sours or goes off. So these vinaigrette shelf lives are extremely long. As long as you would be willing to put a bottle of Dijon mustard in your refrigerator, that vinaigrette's good for. So the second one that we're going to play with, and you're going to start to see a trend here, is balsamic vinaigrette. So it's very simple, balsamica mondana. I'm going to sweeten it once again with some honey, about 2 to 1. So again, we'll use a bit of Dijon mustard to help to emulsify this vinaigrette together. So we'll take the olive oil, and our canola. We'll adjust our seasoning. It's a bit strong for me. I'll tone it down. So this would be our balsamic dressing. I've taught you guys now 2 dressings, and they're both a vinegar-based dressing. The last one that I want to do is a vinaigrette, so this one will separate. And this one I wanted to do it with fruit. So this one's going to be done out of lemon juice. Okay, I'm going to do a lemon vinaigrette. So originally we're just going to start off with lemon juice. When my guys do it, I always do them whole lemons. We zest them, and then we juice them. Pull the seeds obviously out, mix the zest in. The zest on a lemon gives the flavor of lemon without sour. It has no sour consistency or no sour flavor to it. So it helps to really heighten the flavors of things. So you guys will really notice probably if you've ever had my lemon thyme vinaigrette, it's very forward lemon. That zest is that forward flavor that comes. It tastes like it's stronger than lemon. Again, like every vinaigrette, you need to balance out the sour. Alternative to honey, if you don't have in your cupboard, is sugar. All sugars work the same, all fats work the same. They can all be often replaced. There is some, especially in baking times, that doesn't necessarily follow the case. But I like to sweeten mine with white sugar. I found that honey tend to lend a flavor that didn't work so well with the lemon juice. So again, on the about a 2 to 1. So you're going to do a cup of lemon or a cup of sugar for every 2 cups of lemon juice. Okay. And then these ones, once again, are going to have the oil mixed in. Because we are not trying to emulsify them, you don't have to worry about adding the oil slowly or anything of that nature. You'll double check your seasoning. This is one you'll often have to play with to get the sugar right. It's actually pretty good. So this is a I didn't mention through the process that oil and the key part to oil that it plays in dressing of a salad not only helps to tone down the flavoring agent, usually the vinegar or the juice, but it also helps to adhere that juice to the leaf of lettuce. It sticks a lot better to it, so it does play multiple roles.
But it will last the same amount of time?
The lemon juice again will last quite a while. It's like it is a fruit juice, so you are going to have the shelf life shortened slightly. You're going to find for shelf life things that are really high in acid, lemon juice, lime juices, they don't support bacterial growth. The bacteria has a really hard time surviving in that environment. So you're going to see their shelf lives last quite a while. As you step down in acidity and you start to get into things like berries, the blueberries, the strawberries, those are going to start to ferment faster and shorten your shelf lives. So now I've taught you guys 2 dressings in a vinaigrette, and what I wanted to be able to do with them now is just show you the versatility of your vinaigrettes. So for this white wine vinegar dressing that we have here, I'm going to split it in 3. The first one we're going to leave just as our plain white wine vinaigrette. Okay. The second one I'm hoping to add a little bit of fruit juice to. So these are some strawberries that have been cooked over the stove with just a little bit of sugar. Preservation method my mom showed me when I was a kid to jar them. This also would work a jam or jelly out of your fridge. That was actually my original intention, was to raid my pantry of my fridge and go, there's a million things that you can make a great dressing out of your fridge with. It's not that hard. All the jams and jellies are really fun to have fun and add fruit flavors into your vinaigrettes. So this one I'm hoping to do a strawberry white wine vinaigrette. Okay. And I'm also actually going to do a strawberry balsamic vinaigrette. And I'm going to do a strawberry lemon vinaigrette. Again, I'm going to do 3 different versions of a strawberry. So I have a strawberry white wine. You see it lends itself a lovely color. To have some fun with this one, I'm going to add a little bit of tarragon. You can have a lot of fun with dried herbs and spices inside of your dressings. I do counsel you try a small amount on the side first to make sure that your combo works out for you. Some things can work very well, some things can end not quite so well. Most of the ones that I do are tried, tested, and true. Strawberry and tarragon is something I grew up on. It's a great summer dressing. It works very well with fruit and nuts style salad. So I'm going to take this white wine and I'm going to turn it into a strawberry tarragon vinaigrette. Okay. So, out of our basic white wine dressing there, now we're gonna get a strawberry. And we'll do the same to the balsamic. I'm gonna leave the herbs out of this one, and I'm just gonna go with a very simple strawberry balsamic. And last but not least will be a strawberry lemon. So, those have all gone on a very sweet direction. That pretty much covers the vinaigrette presentation for you guys. What we've done to try and have fun with it is there's actually salads around the corner. And then I'm going to put spoons into each one of these vinaigrettes, and you guys can feel free to choose the dressing that you feel would lend itself to the salad the best.